30 days. I'm going to teach you some, I guess how they say it in Texas, some nuggets here to help you guys explode your business. When we come back from Ignition, some of you can get started right away, and some of you will have to tie up some loose ends in your life, and you're going to be able to pick a month that you're going to be able to do this, okay? Whatever month works the best for you, and we're going to go from there. So let's take a look at the first slide here. My clicker's not working. There we go. Guys, let's go over some myths first, okay? There's some myths that we have in network marketing where slow and steady wins the race. And I'm going to tell you guys that slow and steady does not win the race, okay? I mean, consistency is good, but it's not the best way, okay? You know, in the race between the rabbit and the tortoise, they always show that the tortoise wins the race. The reason why the tortoise always wins the race is because the rabbit gets distracted in life, okay? The rabbit comes out full speed ahead, and then it gets distracted, and the tortoise wins. I'll give you an example. I had a guy promote in 19 days. He became a managing director in 19 days and broke my record in my SD code for the fastest promoting managing director in history. Guys, by the second month, he was fizzled out. I mean, this guy had so much potential, okay? So when they tell you that, you know, slow and steady wins the race, it doesn't win the race, okay? You want to be the rabbit first. You want to come out and be explosive in the first quarter of your business. Okay, now if you're in the business and you're saying, wow, well, you know, I already missed my first quarter, that's okay, because what we're gonna do is not just for a first-time associate. It's also for anybody who's been stagnant, who has, you know, been out of the game for a while. Okay, this is gonna reboot you. Okay, basically rebooting a computer. Okay, so you want to be the rabbit first, and then you can be the turtle. Okay. And then you can go on cruise control. And the reason why I have the name Sam there is because I want to talk about a young lady who was 22 years old, got involved in this business, blew me away, guys. She went out and got all her customers in her first week. She got her 3 associates in her first 2 weeks. She got herself the managing director in 30 days, okay? 30 days. And then she decided to go full force again. She got her MD code going. She put 3 in her MD code. She got her 5 extra customers for her, you know, what she needs to go SD. And then she got married and got pregnant and took 9 months off. But it was the initial first 30-day blast that she did that allowed her business to keep growing even while she wasn't there. And what happened 9 months later, she promoted a few days ago to senior director. Got a $750 bonus and is going to be able to walk down stage, okay? I want you to understand that it doesn't always work slow and steady. Slow and steady does not build the momentum you need. I'm going to use an airplane as an example here, okay? When you have an airplane on the runway, it has to reach a certain altitude to fly, okay? So to fly, the airplane has to have 100% power. It cannot – imagine this. Can you imagine if you're on an airplane right now to go to Texas for ignition and the plane only had 20% throttle? Would we ever get off the runway? Absolutely not. What if the pilot says, you know what, we're going to go to 40%? Will we ever actually get off into the air? No, okay? 80% is still not going to get us into the air. The only way that we're going to actually get that plane off that runway and into the air and to reach a good altitude where we're zooming is at 100% effort. And that's why the plane has to go 100% first effort. Then it can cruise through the altitude. If you are going to be sitting around in this business, guys, and putting 20% and 40% and 60%, next thing you know, it's a few years and you're still not off the ground, okay? You're going to run into the woods, okay? You're going to need to focus, you're going to need commitment, and you're going to have that energy, okay? And once you have that focus, commitment, energy, and you put 100% into this business and you see the plan I'm about to show you, okay, how you're going to do the steps to get to that point, you can get to the point where I'm at. Then you can get 1 a month, okay? You can go out and get 1 associate a month because you built that ground floor, okay? But we're going to talk about how the difference between making 6 figures and 7 figures in this business and what the difference is. I'm going to show you guys that in a few minutes here. So the next slide here. Then there's a myth that says if you don't quit, you won't fail. That is absolutely not true, okay? I'll say that right now. I know people that have been in Ignite for 9 years. They haven't quit, and guess what? They haven't made any money. They haven't actually promoted. They're still in the same place they were before. So the only way to make it if you don't quit is if you're growing as a person. And that means that you're reading books, you're going to seminars, you're getting better at your trade. You're getting better and better and better. And as the time goes on, you get to the point where you're so comfortable with being uncomfortable. You're so comfortable with the cold market. You're so knowledgeable on what to say, what not to say. Now you're ready to take off at 100% altitude and go out there and start flying, okay? So don't have that mindset that because you didn't quit, you're going to make it. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen right now. You're going to be here 5 years from now. You're going to be starving, making no money in this business. You're going to keep telling yourself, well, you know what, as long as I don't quit, they tell me that I'm going to be okay. No, you're going to have to keep growing, okay? And you're going to see when we get to the later slides why slow and steady doesn't win the race, okay? And you're going to see that. Now, here is a pretty interesting fact. Guys, I want you, if you have any paper or pencil right now, if you don't, it's no big deal. If you want to use your phone, we're going to go over this a little slow. I want you guys to understand what sponsoring 20 people could do for your business. I mean, what kind of impact could it actually have on your business? First, let's go over the upfront commission. The upfront commissions for me is basically putting it as if I'm a director, okay? So I'm a director, I go on and sponsor 9 people, I make 100, 100, 100, 100, 109 times. Then I start making the 175s, right? So if I was a brand new director, now if you're an MD, SD, or ED, could you imagine the money you would make? But if you're a brand new director, you're looking at $2,875 in 1 month, okay? That's a lot of money. What's the MEI over 12 months? Well, each customer puts in, each associate puts in 10 customers, right? So you're looking at an average at least $1 a customer. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Guys, that's $200 a month, okay? That's for going out and sponsoring 20 people. You just made 1/5, and that's without them even doing anything more, without them getting any more associates. You just made 1/5 of the Social Security check in America, okay? Now, what about some extra bonuses? Well, Ignite has tons of extra bonuses. They're usually ranging between $200 to $1,000 or a free iPad, okay? There you go. Look at that. Now we're up to about, what, $3,000, $4,000 in instant money plus $200 a month for life. What will it do for a lifetime? I tell you this right now, my first 20 associates made me $10,000 in bonuses and they make me $12,000 a year in residual income, okay, to this day, 2.5 years later, $12,000 a year. So if I would have did anything else but just sponsored 20 people in a blast in the beginning, guys, I would have a nice chunk of change, okay? That would be a car payment, a mortgage payment, a vacation, 2 years of saving. That would be 1 year in college when I was going to school. What will it do for your business as far as rank? Like, where will you exceed to? Well, if you start as a director, you're going to get to MD and SD pretty easy, okay? If you're an MD, you'll definitely get to SD. So it's not only going to make you a lot of money, it's going to put confidence in your business. People are going to see you're succeeding so fast. And that was the biggest thing for me, guys. I went from director to SD in 90 days. I had thousands of dollars to show for it. People saw my success. They thought, wow, if this guy can do it in 90 days, he can make that much money, $4,000 or $5,000 in 90 days and get ranked the top 3% of the company. Well, we can do it too, okay? And that's the example that you're setting to your team, okay? If one of you right now were stagnant and you went out and did this 30-day blast or the 90-day blast that I do, and you promote it really fast, all of a sudden you put in $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 into your business, trust me, the people that have been watching you are going to say, well, wait a minute, what happened now? You're making all this money. Yeah, okay? And it's the industry reputation, guys. You're known as somebody who's a serious network marketer, somebody who can build teams, somebody who should be respected, somebody who can help others. For me, my reputation has transcended Ignite. I mean, I'm constantly bombarded with other companies trying to recruit me because they think that I will do what I did for Ignite for them, and I have no interest in that, but it's a compliment to me. But the reputation of being, a good team, like I consider my team the Chicago Bulls of basketball, okay? They won a lot of championships. I want to win a lot of championships with my team. So guys, you can figure it out on your own what they can do for you. This, again, will be recorded and be on YouTube, so if you want to relax and don't have to worry about writing everything down, you can do that, okay? That's fine, because we're going to have it on YouTube for you. You can pause it when it's on YouTube, and you can figure this out for yourself. Now, let's talk about what's going to happen if you sponsor 20 people in 30 days, okay? We're going to go into the preparation a little bit later. You probably wonder what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. But first, let's just talk about what will happen. What's the average? And this is an average through decades of network marketing, okay? These are numbers that are not made up. They're numbers that are pretty accurate. Now, of course, they vary, but the numbers are pretty accurate. So you're going to sponsor 20 people. 12 are actually going to do something for you. 12 are going to be workers, and 8 of them are going to go into the witness protection program. What does that mean? That means that you're not going to be able to get a hold of them ever again. They're not going to answer their phone. They're not going to text you back. They're going to go MIA, guys, okay? And that's okay, okay? So just be prepared. Now, 8 of those 12 within 90 days are going to look like leaders. Okay, the guy who just walked in, and you guys saw him on the webcam before I shut it off to bring me my salad, who's my neighbor, he is emerging into a leader. I can see it. He's been in the business for 4 weeks. He's been plugging in every week. He's flying to Texas. Okay, the land-ins. They come into meetings. You can tell. You can distinguish a leader right off the bat. Okay, they're doing all the necessary steps that need to be done. Within a 1-year period, out of those 20 builders that you put in, guys, 4 of them are going to be solid. Okay, solid builders. 4 people like Phil Stambaugh and Courtney Stambaugh and Jackie and Harvey Oliver and Tara Woodman and Darren Vasquez. You're going to get 4 of those. Okay, and 90% of your income will come from those downlines, which is pretty amazing. Now, 5 years down the road, and guys, we're in this right now as babies. Okay, I'm not even in the business for 3 years yet. So imagine 5 years down the road, you're going to have 2 major builders in your team that are going to make you a lot of money. Okay, most of the 6-figure earners who have been interviewed have done a 20 associate blast in 30 days, or within, I'd say a 90-day period, where they went out and they just put tons of people in their business right away. And then they built it, and then they went to cruise control. So I know a lot of people in Ignite that did their blasts, made 6 figures, and now they're in cruise control. They haven't sponsored anybody in 2 or 3 years. Okay, they're still in the top 50. They're still making 6 figures, but the ones that are making 7 figures actually did a few blasts. Okay, they've done more than one, and that's really the key. The key is to be able to do a blast, get that momentum, get the team growing. Okay, because when something in motion, guys, stays in motion. And when you see the chart at the end of this program of where the people are today that I put in my first few blasts, you're going to be amazed, okay? So somebody who wants to make 7 figures in network marketing, guys, it's a simple math equation. Just do the blast a few times in your network marketing career, and you're looking at a very amazing income, okay? It's pretty unbelievable. Now, here's the difference when you become a slow turtle. Okay, now in the past slide, we said 12 will do something. When you do it in 20 months in a slow period, only 8 will do something, not 12. You're going to have 4 left in 90 days. You're going to have 1 left in 12 months. 0 runners in your 5th year. Guys, it's a huge difference between 30 days and the 20 months, okay? It's a different type of energy that you portray. I've spoken to people that I run into who are in Ignite, who are not active, and their energy is horrible. They tell me that they're in Ignite, and it's like they're talking about something that they don't even like, and nobody would want to listen to them. They're not plugged in. They're not in the system. They're not motivated. They're not building. They're not having that momentum. Those people that are believing into and believing in them, and having a large group of individuals who are expanding at a fast rate, with momentum and believing in each other. It's just a totally different ballgame. And this is why I believe that, 1 a month is okay once you have your business growing. And if that's all you can do, don't get me wrong. I don't want you out of the game, okay? Some money is better than no money. But we're talking about making 6 figures tonight. We're talking about making 7 figures. We're talking about the formula that I use and all the top money earners use, okay? It's right here on this screen, okay? The secret is out. It's there. You guys can study it, and you're going to have to realize when you can do this. And that's what we're going to talk about soon. Now, here's some questions I want you guys to answer to yourself, okay? Ask yourself these questions. What is your story? I mean, honestly, what is your story? What do you want out of life? What do you want out of Ignite? What would you love to happen, okay? And when do you want to do this 30-day blitz? When do you see yourself being able to commit 1 month of your life to do this? Okay, I committed, my first year, guys, I committed a whole year to Ignite. I'm talking about full force. I did 4 90-day blasts in my first year. And we're going to talk about the 90-day blast at the end, because for me, the 90-day blast is a little bit more realistic. It's not as stressful, and it's just as powerful, okay? But that first year is what has created me a 6-figure salary, and what has, to this day, has actually taken 15 years of my income that I would have got working for my family and my own lawn business, and it's compressed it in 2.5 years. So what does that mean? That means in 2.5 more years, I'll have compressed 30 years at least of my income, and by 7th year in Ignite, I will have made my entire lifetime income that I would have made not doing this business, okay, doing a regular job. So which month do you want to do? Now, all of you cannot come back and do it on February 24th. I realize that a lot of us have commitments with other things right now, whether it's kids, whether it's relationship issues, whether it's family loss, whether it's a job change, a moving change. But I want you guys to pick 1 month. Yes, Kat. I want you guys to pick 1 month in 2014 where you're going to buckle down and you're going to commit to what I'm about to show you and make this business grow, okay? It's your choice. I mean, you have a choice to either do it or don't do it. If you don't do it, hey, your business is still going to grow. You're still going to do well, but the big difference between doing good and making top money, okay? Let's take a look at preparation now. Preparation is great, but without work ethic, preparation is nothing. Just keep that in mind. So at some point when you decide to do the 30-day challenge, you're going to have to make a commitment to yourself. You got to really commit to yourself. When I say commitment, I don't mean get excited for 5 days and quit, guys, okay? I mean you're going to say, you know what, even if I fail at this, I owe it to myself. What is 30 days that could possibly change my life for years, okay? It could take off years off my job. It could give me years back in my life, okay? I want you to clear your calendar. You're going to have to clear your calendar, and you have to remove everything that does not have to do with getting 20 people, okay, other than your job, obviously, okay? That means you got to ask yourself, are you willing to sacrifice bowling? Are you willing to sacrifice any hobby? Are you willing? Yeah, absolutely. Are you willing to sacrifice the gym? I mean, if I had to not go to the gym, and I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be honest with you, when I became top money earner, I missed the gym a lot, and Darren will tell you. There was times where I couldn't go to the gym for 5 days in a row. I couldn't believe it, but I was like, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. I committed, okay? I have a lot of time right now, but if I do a blast, trust me, you will not see me at the gym every day. You won't be getting pictures of me on Facebook working out. I have a lot more time freedom, too, because the gym is next to my condo now, but you need to clear your calendar. You need to ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice? You need to have laser focus. And more importantly, if you have family and kids, you need to negotiate with your family. I need you guys to have a conversation with your wife. I need you to have a conversation with your husband. I need you to have a conversation with your kids and say, listen, kids, Daddy or Mom is going to do something right now for 30 days. Okay, I'm going to be home, but I'm not really going to be home. I'm going to be very busy on the phone, the computer. I'm going to be home late. I want you guys to understand that the reason why I'm doing this is because Daddy or Mommy is trying to give you guys a better future. Wouldn't it be nice if we can go to Disney World more often? Wouldn't it be nice if I could spend the weekends with you or go to all your basketball games? Wouldn't that be awesome? And the kids are going to say, yes, Daddy, that would really be awesome. Yes, Mommy, that would be really awesome. Well, Mommy and Daddy are going to do something, and whether it's one of you, I'm using both, so I don't leave anybody out. That's going to be a really busy month. It's only 30 days, and it's going to change our lives for a long time. Are you okay with that? And, guys, if you explain it to your kids, they're going to realize that, one, Mommy and Daddy are doing something really important to help them, and they're also going to be like, wow, Mommy and Daddy included me in this, and I realize that they're doing something. Okay, that's important, okay, because we need to support the family to do a 30-day blast. You also got to have the support of your spouse, and this can be tough. You know, the reason why some spouses are not going to support you is because they've seen you do a lot of things, okay? And we're going to be honest here. They're tired of seeing you crawl. They know you very well. They know you haven't put full potential into everything. They know that you've gotten excited about something in the past, and after 2 weeks you gave up, okay? But this is the time where you're going to sit with your spouse and say, look, I know I haven't always given my full potential. I know you're probably tired of me crawling, but you know what? I looked in the mirror, and I made a commitment to myself and my family, and I'm going to go all out for 30 days, and I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I need you to give me your support, and when it's done, we can reevaluate it, okay? This is the prep work that's going to go on first, okay? So we're going to do this preparation. You want to go through all this, and next slide. And the clicker is not working. Let's go to the next slide here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So preparations continue. Now, we want to eliminate all distractions, whatever is not involved with getting those 20 associates, okay? That means you have to tell your wife, look, honey, I can't do laundry for 4 weeks. I know I usually do it. I really need you to do it for me. I can't pick up, Joey at the basketball game for 4 weeks. I really need you to do it. I promise you I will take you on a vacation. The following month I'll do double, okay? But whatever it is, you have to try to eliminate some of those distractions, okay? And you're going to have to also talk to your existing Ignite group. If you have an existing Ignite group, okay, what that means is that basically, let me give you an example. So let's say you have kids, right, and you have a wife or you have a husband, and you're on the phone for something really, really, really important. Don't you ever notice that as soon as you get on an important phone call, that's exactly when all the kids start screaming, your wife is yelling. It's like, oh, my God, like why is everybody making noise right at this moment, okay? That's just the way life goes. So what I want you to understand is that if you have a really big group of people, that's when they're all of a sudden going to start eating you. When you start trying to do that blast, they're going to start calling you, texting you, what's the rate on this, what's the this? And that's the month you're going to have to say, look, guys, I'm very supportive. I'm always going to be supportive, but right now, I'm doing something really important for the business. I'm doing a blast. I need you guys to use some of your marketing tools. Maybe call Ignite Support. Maybe look at some of the other leaders who are not doing a blast, okay? And you need to have a talk with them. This is the biggest thing is communication. We need your team to be understanding of you. We need your spouse to be understanding of you. And we need your children to be understanding of you. And the energy will flow in a positive way, okay? Now, for those of you that have been around for a long time, do me a favor. Try to download Eric Worre's Ultimate Memory Jogger on his website or find one that you can buy or get for free, okay? This is a way for you to really jog your memory. There is probably 100 people in my brain right now that I could probably get into Ignite but I haven't used an ultimate memory jogger in a long time. I used it in the beginning of my own one by just putting in stuff like, height, weight, goatee, Italian, karate, bodybuilding, things that were in my life, like L-Tri-C College, Albright College. And I started coming up with people, okay? So now we have all the negotiations done, right? We have the prep work done. We got the ultimate memory jogger. We have a bunch of people on the list now. We have a brand new, fresh list, but we're nervous. We're scared. We're uncomfortable. We still don't have that confidence. And I'm going to tell you what I just told about 20 people an hour ago, and one actually texted me and said, you know what, that was really awesome, and I'm really excited. When you come back from Texas, would you mind sitting with my wife and me and actually role-playing? Get some of your other business partners together, okay? Get some, if they're not on your team, another team. Set a meeting. Make it at a restaurant, in a private room. Have a full day. Make yourself your own academy for 4 to 8 hours and role play. I guarantee you none of you have ever sat in a room for 8 hours and role played. I guarantee if you did it, your fears, your nervousnesses, and your skills would enhance overnight. So that is a way for you, and you can do that really easy. You can take even a week, and you can role play a couple hours a day for a week. Different scenarios, different questions. Be prepared. Write notes. Get yourself skilled, okay? And this is the preparation we're going to do. Now, let's go to the next slide. What will it take to get 20 associates in 20 months? Let's go with the slow one, okay? What will it take to get 20 associates in 20 months? Now, you're going to have to show the business plan at least, every 10 times. You're going to have to show the business plan to get 2 associates, okay? For some reason, when I saw this, actually, I said to myself, wow, I used to have like a 40 to 80% close when I first joined Ignite. And then I realized this was showing it for a 20-month period. And I hadn't showed what happens when you sponsor 20 in 30 days, but I was really curious, okay, because this is really low. And unfortunately, it's low because of the way the business runs. The business is a low dynamic business with low momentum, and it just shows, and that's the way it goes. So you show the business 10 times, you get 2 associates. You're going to have to show the business 100 times to get 20 associates. That's the average number, okay? Sounds like a lot. I will tell you this. I've sponsored 121 people. I've showed the business plan, oh, my God, probably over 500-600 times, okay? How many appointments will you have to make to have that many people? You're going to have to actually make 125 appointments because you're going to have 25 no-shows or cancellations, okay, or postponements or whatever you call it. You're going to have to become really good friends with the phone. You're going to need to make 300 phone calls. When I started this business, I did not watch my training videos. I still knew that I should use the phone rather than texting people, because on the phone, like right now you hear my excitement and you see how fired up I am because I know this is going to change a lot of lives. I know I'm going to Texas in a few days, and when we come back, it's going to be a whole new ball game, and 124 of you have ammo right now to go crazy in 2014, and hopefully all of us will promote to the next level. You can't get that off a text message, okay? It doesn't inspire you. It doesn't get you excited. And you're going to have to make a list of 500 people. A list of 500, so that's a lot. That's a lot of work, right? But why don't we do a blast, and why don't we go into a momentum frenzy, have a sense of urgency, and look what happens now. All of a sudden now, every 10 people that you show the business plan to, because of the momentum of your team, because of the success of your income, because of the success of your rank, because of the new business partners that are already on the team, now all of a sudden you're up to 40%. Now you only need 60 meetings to be successful, okay, which means you have to set about 90 appointments, which means only 125 calls, okay? I have 4,000 contacts on my phone. 125 calls will be easy, and I could probably think of 300 people on my phone that I could put on a list, okay? The question is, at the end of the day, here's the question. From what I've showed you so far, are you willing to do this? That is the question you have to ask yourself. Are you really willing to commit 30 days to do something like this? And if the answer is yes, and you really commit and you really follow the instructions 110%, you're going to see massive success. If you're not willing to do it, you're not going to see the massive success. And that's the reality of it, guys. And I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm just telling you right now, if you want to be a top money earner, this is exactly what you got to do, or at least do it in a 90 plan like I'm going to show you in a few minutes here. Now, before I show you the 90-day plan, let's go over what the days are going to look like. The first 10 days, the second 10 days, and the third 10 days. Okay, the first 10, and they're all going to intertwine with each other. But let's just go over the first 10 days. The first 10 days is really 100% effort. That's the hardest time for you. That's where you're going to put the most time. I mean, you're putting 16 hours a day into this, or part-time, 8 hours a day and 16 hours on the weekends. If you want to take Sundays off for the family or church or whatever, absolutely fine, and that's understandable. That can be a day off. Okay. When I say 16 hours, though, I don't mean 16 hours like a job. What I mean is your driving time, your gym time, your break time, your lunch time, your evenings, okay? The times that you have that downtime. We all have that downtime. I have it all the time. And this is exactly how I ran my business the first 3 months. I had a full-time job, a full-time lawn business, okay, school. Between school classes, I would call or text people about my meetings. Between my lawn cutting, every time I cut a lawn, I couldn't wait to get to my phone and either call somebody driving to the next lawn, on the way to the gym, okay, in between body parts, all my breaks at work, all my lunch breaks. If I had to meet associates for lunch, I'd meet them at lunch and I'd be able to eat while I'm talking to them, okay? Our prospects, I should say. Weekends is a great time to put a lot of time into this business. So weekends is a great time for you to focus and take the weekend and make it your blast time, okay? So your phone's going to become your friend, and we're going to do a lot of presentations. And we're going to do them by using one-on-one skills, which is you showing the DVD, you showing the website video, you basically telling somebody to go to your website. You're going to call them in 10 minutes, okay? That's a one-on-one. Two-on-one is when you use your upline leader, and you actually say, hey, I need your help. You guys meet at Panera Bread, and you do a two-on-one, okay? Or you do a three-way phone call. It's two-on-one. Webinars are great like this every Monday night at 9. The Skype is great, or FaceTime. And then you have blitz days. Blitz days are really important. Those are days that I put in my calendar. I actually have my old calendar on my phone from 2011. I did 4 weeks in a row of blitz times. And what that means, blitz days. What that means is I went out and did 4 to 5 presentations a day. I had them back to back to back to back, okay? From one location to another, to another, to another. And guys, that's how I got to where I got so fast. Okay, live events, Super Saturdays, power searches, ignition, hotel meetings, all the tools. That's what we're going to do. We're going to just blast our way through all those different methods of sponsoring people, okay? The second and third 10 days is a little bit different. Now, the second 10 days, you can still, contact people. You can still show the presentation, but you also want to start following up. You want to start getting people to another exposure, okay? The first, in my first 10 days, I must have showed probably 20 people the business plan, at least, maybe more. I have to look. I know I did 30 presentations a month in August. That was my third month, and I was actually a slower month because it was my third month. I didn't have as many people, but I got into second exposures too. So that's the second exposure. Now you show them the plan on day 3 of your 30-day challenge. Well, on day 13, you get them to another exposure. Now you get them on a 3-way phone call with upline leader, okay? You answer questions. Or you take questions. You also answer objections, okay? And we do more, but we also still do more meetings, okay? We're still doing meetings, but we're also following up. In the last 10 days, we're closing. Now, here's how it worked for me. It was like I showed the plan to a bunch of people, and then the second 10 days, I started showing the plan to a bunch of people, but I started also closing on the phone. I started following up on the phone and setting more appointments with the first people, getting them on second looks. And then I started on my last 10 days, I started closing the people from the first 10 days that hadn't signed up yet, the people from the second 10 days, I was following up and closing them. And what was happening is after my 30 days, I still was closing on people, and I was getting sign-ups all in the month of the following month, all because of the 30-day blast, okay? And I'm going to show you how that worked for me. I remember doing the 30-day blast, and the people that were in that month didn't join. They joined the following month because the follow-ups and the closings happened. Now, a guy said to me today, well, how come you're not closing the day of the presentation? Well, guys, let me be honest with you. I am not a person who is an aggressive closer. I don't like to be aggressive. I don't even ask people if they want to sign up. It's worked for me, okay? I have 121 people I personally sponsored, and I never said to anybody, are you ready to join? Or maybe very rarely. I usually say, what did you like about it, and when do you see yourself getting involved? And that's it. Sometimes I don't even say that because I feel like if they're interested, they're going to get involved regardless. I don't have to tell them to get involved, okay? So that's how it works. Now, let's take a look at the 90-day burst that I did. Now, in my first 90 days, I want you guys to know that I sponsored 25 associates. That was my first 90 days. I got the senior director on my 90th day. I ran really fast. I did everything that I just told you, the commitments, the schedules, everything. The only difference was I didn't get 20 associates in my first month. I only got 10, and I got 15 in my here's what I did, guys. I did 45 days, and I got burnt out. I went 45 days straight, sponsored about, I think, 15 people in my first 45 days. And actually, I actually sponsored 12 of my first 45 days. And then I took a week to 10 days, and I kind of unwinded, finished up my customers. I was just like, wow, that was intense. And then I was like, okay, I'm halfway to SD. I need to do one more 90-day blast. And I'm sorry, I need to finish my 90-day blast. And I did another 45 days intense, and I got myself the top 3% of the company. I believe that if I could do something in 90 days, it would pay me for years and years and years and years. It would remove years off my life from working at a job, and it would give me time freedom back. And I realized that, and I'm going to tell you right now, at the time, the day that I joined Ignite, I was actually fighting with the current girlfriend at the time, and I made a decision that day to end my relationship, and I did not contact her until I became senior director. And we actually worked things out for a little bit. Didn't work out, though. But my upline said, look, do you want to be a millionaire, or do you want to be having negative energy and fighting with somebody right now when you just started this business and you're at a point where you can change your life? I said, you know what? I don't know how I did it, guys, but I believed in Ignite so much that I got my mind off of everything negative in my life because I believed I was going to have greatness with this business. So I sponsor 25 people now. Out of those 25, believe it or not, some made me money. There's only 2 of them that are still strong in my business, and that is Ryan, otherwise known as Sam. You guys know Ryan. I sponsored Ryan. Ryan didn't get his Quick Start 4, but a year later, he got Michael Prettyman from Maryland to see the webinar, and Michael joined. Michael has put in over 200 people in my business. My mom's residual check is huge because they are under Michael. I sponsored my mom met Ryan, and my mom sponsored Ryan. Basically, I guess I sponsored Ryan, but Ryan's under level 2. And then Michael came under my mom, and basically Michael makes my mom all that money, okay? Now, on my second 90 days, I was now a senior director, okay? And I now had a lot of confidence. I had a lot of checks. I had a lot of learned from a lot of mistakes, okay? I learned from a lot of mistakes. I got a lot of no's, no-shows, cancellations. I dealt with all the skepticism. I had to break through every single thing that I heard about scams and pyramid schemes and all that BS. And now I was tough. I was not the same associate that I was 90 days earlier. 90 days earlier, I was a new guy, never did network marketing, got to the top 3% of the company. But now, okay, now I'm a tough-skinned SD in the business, and I had an opportunity to change my life with 275 to 175 in a 75-cent raise. So what do I start doing now? I start taking that confidence, and I start the cold market. I start talking to strangers, and I'm cleaning my car, and this girl walks by and says, you should clean my car too. I said, oh, yeah, well, why don't I help you get the same car rather than cleaning your car? Well, what do you mean? I said, what do you do for a living? And she starts telling me she's a dental hygienist, she has 2 kids. Guess what? I get her to a meeting, and guess what? Tasha signs up, okay? Tasha is responsible for Jason Clinton, Catherine Hausman, and even higher down the chain, she's responsible for Chong. Chong is the first New York SD that came out of New York. He has put in over 150 people in my business in New York City, and all because a year earlier, before he actually signed up, I asked the girl if I could help her get a car like my car. Guys, that paid off, okay? That was in my second 90 days, okay? What do you think could happen when Connecticut opens? Because of Tasha, Chong will get me into Connecticut. My business will continue to grow for years and years and years and years. Okay, and there's Jason saying, boom, okay, that's why Jason's here. Jason's life is changing. Jason's going to Texas this week. Why? Because I stopped Tasha in the parking lot. Instead of saying, thank you, or, yeah, I'll clean your car, I actually brought the opportunity to her. Now, Richard Baez, who took 2 years to get the managing director and 4 months to get the senior director, was a police officer in the Bronx that Facebooked me. I put a post on somebody's wall, and he saw it, and instead of that guy joining, he said, let me contact this guy. We weren't friends on Facebook. He contacts me, and he basically said, can we meet? I show him the plan. He signs up, struggles in Pennsylvania for 2 years because he's not from here. He's from New York. This is back now. I sponsored him back September of 2011. Well, guess what happened in July of 2013? New York City opens up. Richard Baez goes back to New York, sells his house. He's a senior director now, my level 1, okay? And he's blowing up New York for me, okay? Simon, in my second 90-day blast, guys, okay, comes up to me, asks me for a workout. I give it to him. I asked if he wants to see another way to make money. I signed him up 3 weeks later, and guess what happened? 550 people in my business from Simon, people like Jasmine Kelly, Annie Sanchez, Mo Bash. We have Carol Soto, Lynette Soto, Ashley Page, Adriana, Samira, okay? I mean, you're talking 550 people. You're talking about the whole entire state of New Jersey that's on my team came out of that 5-minute conversation at the gym. That was in my second 90-day blast. Here's the crazy part. In my third 90-day blast, I meet Phil and Courtney Stamball. Okay, they became senior director, brought in Jackie, who became senior director, who ended up bringing in Tara and Renee, who became senior director. And I met Jasmine Kelly in my third blast, too, through Simon's team. What I did in those first 3 blasts is the reason why I make 6 figures. I could have stopped right there, and I'd be done for life. 9 months. I retired 2 months after that 90-day blast, and I retired from my mom's business in my 5th blast. So my 4th blast, I sold my landscape company. My 5th blast, I retired. My 4th blast, I slowed down a little bit because I had so many people now that were eager to make money, and Jackie was running, and Phil was running, and everybody was running. Okay, so but here's the great part about it. I sponsored a guy at the gym named Mark. Although Mark is not really in the business anymore, Mark was my second senior director out of my top 5 first ones to make me an executive director. So that was huge. Now I could actually taste the ED. I could taste, oh my God, ED's coming. So think about this, guys. I did my first 90-day blast. I made a ton of money, like $5 grand, right? And then $3 to $5 grand. I can't remember what it was exactly. I know that I made. Let me think here. I made. I made $3,000 in my first 90 days, and then $18,000 in my next 90 days. Okay. At that point, I was sold. At that point, I meet Phil and everybody else. Now all of a sudden, I'm getting checks with $3,000 a week. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Now I break 2 SDs, Phil and Mark. And I'm like, wow, 3 SDs away from becoming an executive director. And what happens now, I'm fired up. I do my 5th blast in the summer of 2012. I sponsored Darren Vasquez, Dr. Scott McLeod, Carol Lynette Soto shows up on my level 7. Michael Prettyman shows up on my level 2 or 3. And boom, what happens? Senior directors 4 and 5, and I'm an ED, okay? And the rest is history. The last 60-day blast that I did, last 90-day blast that I did was when I was basically finishing off the year. I said, you know what, let me go hard for this last 90 days. Let me put 18 months into this business, and let's see what I can do at Ignition 2013. And I ended up sponsoring a guy on the phone named Dan Westfall from a Geico phone call. I asked him where he lived. He told me Buffalo. I said, I have an exciting, unbelievable opportunity. You cannot miss this. I have to send you some information. Get him on the phone, and he looks at the webinar, and guess what happens? He signs up, and because of him, Ryan is exploding Buffalo for me. Rebecca, at this point, my 90-day blast, I tried something different. I said, you know what? Let me go back to everybody who said no to me in the first 5 blasts. Let me go back to everybody who I need to follow up with in the last 5 blasts. And I followed up with Rebecca from Pittsburgh, and a year ago she said no to me. Well, this year she said yes to me. And guess what happened? Because I have 105 people in Pittsburgh, which I'll be there March 1st, okay? Guys, my business was set. In 18 months, I became a top 20 income earner, number 2 moneyer in the entire Northeast, and it all was by just doing a few blasts, okay? Now, I've done this with everything in my life, my bodybuilding career. When I decided to become a bodybuilder, I went out, I got the food that I needed, the supplements that I needed, I found the gym that I needed, I read the books that I needed, and I went 7 days a week, twice a day sometimes in the beginning, just in the beginning, because I had to catch up to guys who were 5 years bigger than me, okay? Investments. I made a decision, I studied, I got my credit in check, I got my income in check, and I went full running. My bank manager said, buy 1 apartment, I bought 5. Same thing with stocks. I studied them, I looked at them, I got everything down, I found the right books to read, I got the right contacts, and I went out and I made $17,000 in my first month in the stock market. My diet, the day after Thanksgiving, I said, you know what, I'm overweight, I don't feel good, I'm getting older, I want to be leaner. I went to the grocery store, I cleared out my fridge, put all new food. I went to the gym down the hall. I took a picture of all the classes, the cardio classes, put it on my phone, saved it in a folder, put all the classes in my calendar, and I made sure I was there. I made a commitment. I structured in my life that there was no meetings at those times when I was going to be at the gym, and I changed my life every single time, even in college. Okay, I made a commitment to go to the math lab. I studied. It was the same formula. Okay, I didn't realize there was actually a way to write it out, but it's really how I could have done my whole entire life. So 3 months can change your life forever. Okay, 3 months can change your life forever. It really can. Now, going back to one slide, I want you guys to just keep focused on this one slide here. Again, 6-figure earners did this at least once. 7-figure earners did it 2 or 3 times. Okay, that's the biggest difference, and that's really the formula to become a top income earner. That's the formula. Now, can you get lucky? Absolutely. My sponsor makes probably about $36,000 to $40,000 a year. All he ever did was a 3 and 10. Yes, that can happen, and that's a lot more income. That's the average income in America right now, so that would be great for somebody. But we're not talking about luck, okay? We're not talking about anything like that. We're talking about you taking control of your business and making this thing happen, okay? And that's pretty much it. So with that being said, I hope that helped a lot of you. I will be putting it on YouTube tonight. I'm very excited to be in Texas this week. Come back next Monday night at 9 o'clock will be the first new webinar with probably new information, a lot of new information. So you're going to want to plug in. I'm not going to really have a chance to even study it, but I'm really good at ad-libbing. I haven't had a chance to study this either, but I know of it because of my personal experience. And I really am excited. I think with the right tools and the right preparation and the right commitment, a lot of us are going to do a lot of big things. 2014 is going to be the year where we change our lives, we change our destiny, and it's going to be unbelievable, guys. I really appreciate you all being here tonight. It makes me very excited to see 123 people on the call. To think about this, I started in my kitchen by myself with no customers and no associates, okay? Zero, nothing. I didn't have my own energy bill. And look where we're at today. Okay, look where we're at today, guys. We can do anything we want. Good night, and you guys are the best.